Hello and welcome back to Paracast. If you go back to the first episode, I asked a question, and the question to carry on was, what's the scariest thing you've ever seen? So I'm going to leave it to you.
The scariest thing I've there's been a few, but the first one I remember was when I was first in training, first learning, was I was actually in bed. I was asleep. Me and my husband were in bed, and I started having a dream that I was sat on the dining room table on the phone talking to someone. And in my dream, I looked at the far end of the kitchen, and there was this girl that was walking towards me, but she had blonde hair, but it was over her face, like that one from The Ring with the dark.
Yeah.
Yeah. She was walking towards me, and I remember feeling quite panicky in my dream. Now, this happened when I was in training, and you get it drummed into you about protection, which is something I always drum into like my students and people that I've taught about protection. And it got to the point where it got really close that my mindset automatically shot my protection over me, my form of protection. And the moment I did that, I woke up. So physically, I woke up out of that dream, jumped up out of bed, and I felt a presence in the bedroom with me and my husband, and it was frightening. It felt very uncomfortable, and obviously it's more frightening back then because you're in training. So I started doing the Lord's Prayer, and the distance that spirit was to me in my dream state was exactly the same distance it was to me in the bedroom, and it went the moment I did what I did. And I'm quite grateful that that happened, because it taught me how important protection is.
Yeah. So, I mean, we've done quite a few ghost hunts in the past, haven't we? And we've seen some terrible stuff, haven't we? Like, that we can't explain. But Carrie Ann sent me a video yesterday, and I'm going to show you it, but I'm going to let her explain what it was that she showed me. So I'm going to leave it to you now, Kaz. So you tell us what.
Well, we moved into a new home. I've been in there for about 4 years now, but when we first moved into this house, it's a big house, and it was built in the early 1800s, and it's a proper Victorian 3-story house. And when I first moved into it, obviously I cleanse it, spiritually cleanse. There was a lot of energies in there, spirits in there. A lot of them wanted to go, and there was some negatives that weren't very nice that took me a little while to get rid of, but obviously they went. So as I'm going around blessing the house and doing what I do, my little rituals and stuff, this was actually in the back bedroom, in my daughter's back attic bedroom.
Yeah.
So anyway, I liked, out of curiosity, just a bit like, ghost hunting, I had my device walking around, and I just so happened to get a feeling, and I actually caught it on the camera. But because of what I was doing, it had been sent outside, so it was actually outside the bedroom window.
Yeah.
Now, for what you're going to show them, I'm walking around. You can see my shadow. You can see my daughter's shadow on the wall. You can see over here my reflection, but on the other side, it's plain as day, and it was nothing that you can explain, shadows or flick of the light. Nothing. And this was outside the window. Now when you look,
it looks like a liquid form, the way it moves.
It's actually quite fascinating, because I've literally caught something what we call manifestation.
Yeah.
And it does appear like a liquid form. like a misty liquid form, and you can actually see it building up. So I took a quick photograph as I'm recording, and you can actually see the detail.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to describe what it is. I want people to see what they can see.
Yeah. I'm going to put it on now, guys. So I'm going to stop the video, and you're going to see what Carrie Ann sent me, and let's see what you guys think about it. There you have it, guys. What do you think? I think it looks very, very strange. I've tried to like debunk it minimally, but I still don't know what it is. It does look odd, and there's obviously something happening. What do you think it is then, Kaz? Like, as in, say, in your mediumship, what did you feel a presence?
Well, yeah, because as I was doing what I was explaining what I do, the first thing that happens with me, I mean, it can be seeing, hearing, or feeling that comes first. I got the feeling.
Yeah.
And I got the feeling, and that is why I had the recording device, my tablet, with me, because I was doing what I was doing, cleansing, because I could feel something.
Yeah.
So I had my tablet out of curiosity to see if I could catch anything by chance. And then look me have it, I actually caught that. Well, we tried everything to debunk it, whether it was light, reflection, and we studied it for a long time, and it was just nothing we could explain.
I know there's going to be a lot of people say, "Oh, it's a reflection of the light," but if that was the case, why is it moving like
Exactly,
it is? Do you know
yeah.
what I mean?
It's building up.
It's weird. I mean, we've on some of our ghost hunts. I mean, I was very sceptical to start with, but there's quite a lot of stuff that happens, and we see that, don't we? On something like where we at Chillingham Castle. Do you remember when we seen all? And it was similar to that, but it wasn't as thick.
It wasn't as thick and prominent as like what that was. I mean, that's the best capture I've ever had.
Yeah.
I mean, bless her, when our friend was still with us before,
Lynn.
Yeah, she was over the moon with that. She said that is the best capture we've ever had.
Yeah. Yeah, because she was medium as well, wasn't she?
Oh yeah, she was good.
We're gonna have to do some more ghost hunts. We haven't been on a ghost hunt for a long time, but we went to. Do you remember that Liverpool when we went to that old?
Oh, was it the mental asylum hospital? Well, everybody thought it'd be well haunted, and outside of the building it looked dark, it looked eerie. We got excited. But truth be known, we were in for a very disappointing night.
Yeah, it wasn't very good, was it?
No, we hardly got anything, and a lot of people tend to think, oh, it'll be scary as because it was a mental institution.
Yeah.
It wasn't the case, because a lot of them that passed, they were wanting to go, you know.
I mean, we've done Chillingham Castle a few times, and you see more, you get more from Chillingham Castle than you do places like that. And a lot, like Carrie Ann said, a lot of people think, oh, because it was in an asylum, you know, and it's years old. You think, but you'll see things and hear things in the unlikeliest of places. I mean, you have, haven't you? You've had it loads of times.
Yeah, absolutely. But in the mental asylum, rather than seeing and experience ghostly hauntings, all I was getting as a medium was echoes of sound that used to exist in there.
Yeah.
But not a lot of spirit, no activity, nothing.
Yeah, it was a bit disappointing, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Did we actually went. We spent the night there, didn't we? It was like early hours when we left.
Oh yeah,
and we went back to the digs, didn't we? And we all went to sleep, and we were all like the next morning. Well, we thought it'd be a lot better than what it was. But there.
Well, one of my horrible worst experiences that I wanted to talk about was the time we went to where is it? The Haunted Objects Museum. It was in
Oh, is that in not Barnsley?
No, can't remember the name.
It's not Pontefract, is it?
No, that was the house.
Yeah, that was the Poltergeist house, wasn't it?
Oh, I know it so well. Anyway, it doesn't matter. We went to the haunted museum, and your Julie came that time.
Yeah, she
But
did.
then
Yeah,
yous left.
we left. Yeah,
Yous left early, and we actually sat in one of the rooms. Now we're all sat there, sensing. Now Toby doesn't get very much, but he senses a lot, but he doesn't work with it.
yeah,
He just gets annoying, and he doesn't understand it.
yeah,
But I feel he is sensitive, and he, for some reason, sat down next to me, and he's never done that. Anyway, they were all watching something else. Obviously, they're all getting distracted.
yeah,
Me, I was connecting with a lady who was basically, the best way I can describe it was getting held back, because back then, what I discovered when I tuned into her was that her babies were took from her, and she was still there looking for her babies, and she was kind of like stuck there. So I do a lot of rescue work. I'm trying to pull her through to pass her over, but there was two negative entities trying to pull her back. So while all the other group were distracted watching something else, apparently Carmen had turned round and realised what was happening. I was using all my strength to pull this poor spirit lady out, and there was two not very nice spirits trying to pull her back. They were dark. So it kind of like, it felt like a pushing feeling behind where the shot through me, and you can hear everything around you. You can see through your own eyes, but you can also see images inside your head, what you're seeing at the time. And as I'm pulling her out there, pulling her back, and it took all my strength, to the fact where I let out such a loud scream, but it wasn't my voice. And that's when I shouted Carmen, and Carmen jumped up, and she was having to help me, and that was frightening. That really was frightening, because trying to pull three at the same time, well, pull one and push back at the same time, of the darker ones that were trying to come through, was way too much.
I know. I'll tell you a little story. I think I've told you. We used to work in foundation engineering a few years back, and we were working in Islington, and we were drilling in the ground, and we had to stop the job because we found 1,700 bodies. Like, it was a graveyard.
Wow.
And we called it virgin ground because nobody knew what was underneath it. And I went out on the night time. I mean, the rig and everything was stood down, and there was pits all on the site, and you could see back in the olden days they used to have, I'd say, a poor way of doing it, but for poor people they were stacked on each other, and it was like 7 high, and they were all in lead coffins, and I thought, that's a bit unusual, lead coffins. And a couple of days later we found out it was due to the plague, and that's how they used to bury them. These pits were still there, and we all went out, and I had a little bit of a drink, and I got intrigued, and I had a camera, and I went on site, and I fell in a pit, and I was like, it didn't hit me at first, and I was like, oh God, how the hell am I going to get out of here? Do you know what I mean? And I seen like a slope where the digger had been, so I started clawing my way out, and I come out, and I seen these two coins on the floor. I can't describe what they were. I think one was a krona or something, Russian coin or something like that.
A what?
A krona or krona or something like that. And the other one, it looked like Captain Cook on the coin. Obviously, it might not have been. I don't know, but I actually gave them, when I brought them home. The wife says, "Please get them out," because she's quite superstitious. So we give him to the father-in-law. We'd never seen him ever since. But the week after, I took really ill. I was really, really ill. Anyway, I went, I can't remember where it was. I went somewhere and this woman pulled me up and she said, "You've been very ill, haven't you?" And I went, "Sort of, yeah." And she went, "Oh." She said, "'Cause you've got an attachment." And I went, "What's that?" And she went, "There's something there, you've done something and you need to fix it." And I went, "Fix what?" And she went, "Well, I don't know." She says, "They're not telling me what it is." And I went, "Are you a medium?" She says, "Oh, yeah." I says, "All right, okay." Anyway, it never ever, I never ever seen them coins again, but it took me about 4 years before I went back to work because I was ill through different things. Um, but bad luck and bad luck just kept flowing. This is what I'm getting at. Do you ever experience attachments or?
Oh
I
God.
think it's how to say it, isn't it?
Yeah,
Attachment.
attachment. Yeah. Oh God, I think everybody does, whether you're a medium or not. Like I said in the last one, doesn't matter what sort of protection you do or how much you want. The will, if they take a
Yeah,
liking to you, or the will attached to you.
yeah,
But yeah, it happens. Only I know they're there,
yeah,
and I can identify, and I can get rid of them. Well,
yeah,
sorry, that's the wrong form. Like disattach them from
yeah,
myself
yeah.
and basically move them on,
Mm.
cleanse down and stuff. And yeah, but I remember you approached me with that one before, didn't you? Because you were quite,
Yeah, I was a
yeah,
bit,
yeah.
yeah,
But that's all gone.
yeah,
You're cleared of that.
yeah. I mean, I used to have what the doctor told me was night terrors,
Yeah.
and it was like I could never sleep. I mean, it took me 3 years. I spent 3 years on the settee because I was
Mm,
erratic in my sleep and
mm,
everything, and Julie was never getting any sleep, and that was a bad part of my life. I'll
mm.
always go back to that as a bad episode of my life. Um, so you've told us about the scariest thing. What's the Have you ever had a situation where you've come into spirit and it was nothing but goodness? Like it left you feeling good.
Oh yeah. I do spiritual healing and I do Reiki. To me, they come from the same source.
Yeah,
Not only that, I see, I hear, I feel. Um, the most nicest thing that I remember is when when a loved one passes, and you know you get that smell, that love feeling,
mm.
the knowing they're there. And quite often I get a touch that I recognise, and
Yeah,
obviously my granddad always does that on my hair, and I know it's him. But when I pass spirit over into the light, or whatever you want to call it, I say the light, heaven, it's lovely, because you get like a very, very light, airy feeling. The air
yeah,
feels so light. It smells like fresh air,
yeah,
you know, as if wind's blowing in your face, and that coldness you're
yeah,
breathing up your nose. I get that. And the emotion of love, of that delight of them passing over
mm.
and finding and tasting and feeling that source of peace, actually made me cry,
Yeah,
because I'm feeling their emotion. It also impacts on my own emotion, and it can be very overwhelming.
yeah.
Beautiful, but yeah, I've cried out of happiness.
Yeah.
That is really nice.
What's your views on empathy? I know what your views are, but the viewers don't know what your views are. Can you explain what
Empathy.
empathy is all about and what is an empath?
Right. Empathy is a form of a feeling of emotion, having that sympathy, that love, that greater understanding
Mm.
of another person's feelings, no matter what the feeling.
Yeah,
And that is what an empath is
yeah,
all about. An empath, basically, I'm empath.
Yeah.
Basically, is a sensitive, somebody who is very highly sensitive to higher vibrations. Also, you know, when everybody gets this feeling when they're going out walking the dog or walking through the woods or whatever, they like that peace. They can smell the bark on the trees. They can smell that earthly smell, and it makes you feel nice.
Yeah.
Well, that's a form of empathy.
Would
that
you say
connection.
it's like would you say it's like a form of grounding?
Yeah, it's a form of grounding.
Yeah.
But also an empath will, this is going to sound so weird to people, but an empath can feel, now I say, I can feel the tree breathe.
Yeah.
I know it sounds funny, but it's a vibration at the end of the day.
I was about to say it's like a vibration, isn't it?
So I can put my hand on a tree, I'm aware of the bark, I can feel all that, the physical side of it. But underneath that physical, the inside of it, I can feel like the energy, like I can feel your aura now, it's tingling my hand.
Yeah.
And that's what it feels like to me, and it makes me feel so nice. So I can feel the movement of the tree. I know when the earth plates are moving because I can feel them under the soles of my feet.
Yeah.
Where the average person probably won't be able to feel that because they're not aware of it. But when you work with vibrations, work with energies, you become empathic to it. You become understanding of it, and you connect to it all.
Yeah.
And that's what an empath is all about.
So when you talk about auras, right, for the viewers, I know what it's all about, but can you explain a person having an aura and how you would know about them having this aura? Because you obviously see it, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, everything has an aura. Anything that's living or has electricity has an aura. Basically, an aura is an electrical surrounding of the body.
Yeah.
Which is it's energy wise. Okay. If you look at the moon and you know that glow around the moon, and people will say, yeah, but it's the sun shining and reflecting on the moon. Yeah, that's true. That is right.
Yeah.
But it causes the ability of seeing the energy that surrounds, that's in the universe around the moon, and that's an aura. So a human being has an aura. A plant will have an aura because it's a living thing.
Yeah.
So anything that can live and that can die will have like a force field of energy. So humans and animals will have an aura. Now, with an aura, a medium, a psychic, whatever, would be able to look straight at somebody's aura, and they might be able to see colours in that aura, and colours will represent things like, for example, if I see a bit of grey in someone's aura down there, that would symbolise to me that they've got depression, they might not be a little bit well.
Yeah.
Things like that. What else was I going to say? My mind goes blank.
So what about a chakra? Does that have anything to do with auras?
It's all connected.
It's all colourful, isn't it? It's like it's because you've got like, I don't know, I can't describe it, but I mean, I do see things with colour, you know, and that's the aura, isn't it? It's like, oh, hang on a minute, and I'm taking my glasses off and I'm thinking, well, no, it's not my glasses. It's not shining on my glasses. I can actually see it without the glasses. And it's like, oh.
I've known some mediums having to remove the glasses that they rely on to see the aura, because they tend to think, oh, is it the lenses?
Yeah.
It isn't.
Yeah.
But the aura is where a medium or a psychic can actually get feelings and readings from you.
Yeah.
Your moods display in your aura, and things that are going on in your mind, your feelings will display in your aura, and that is how a psychic would be able to give you a reading as well.
Yeah.
So your chakras are like they're like spinning wheels, like discs, and you've got a lot of chakras all over your body, but you've got 7 major chakras in your system. You've got your base, you've got your sacral, you've got your solar plexus, your heart, your throat, your third eye, your sixth sense, and your crown, which is the connection to life, everlasting life, and what have you. And they all interact and work together with your soul, your body, your mind, your aura. It's all put together, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. Right, guys. We're only doing short ones as of, it started, but it's going to get longer. Like I say, it's in its infancy. This is going to be a new channel on YouTube. It's not going to be on the old channel, obviously, because I've only put one on, and that's my personal one. And I think it's only fair we should make a new one and start putting these podcasts on for you all to have discussions or whatever you want to do. If you want to ask questions, just comment down below. And until next time, me and Carrie Ann will see you. Bye.